Hello. Okay, today we're looking at standardized test practice for chapter 3. In this video, I'm going to go through each question. I'm going to solve each question, show all my work, and write down my solutions. If you're working with this video, make sure you show all the same work that I do. Number 1, Justin was estimating the area of the square sticky note shown below. What would be a reasonable estimate of the area of the note? Use area equals length times width. So we'll say this is the length and this is the width. So we need to take area. Instead of length, I'm going to plug in 7.6. I'm going to plug it in with parentheses. Instead of W for width, I'm going to plug in 7.6 also. It's a square sticky note. They have the same size. So we would need to do 7.6 times 7.6. But it asked, what is a reasonable estimate? Which means we're going to estimate. So 7.6 would round to 8. 7.6 is pretty close to 8. So I'm going to round both of them to 8. And what does it mean when there's nothing between, when they're right next to each other like that? That means to multiply. Area equals 8 times 8, which is 64 square centimeters. Answer C. Number 2, Marlene purchased 20 stamps at the post office for $8.40. What is the cost of one stamp? Okay, so I might draw a picture to help me on this one. This is all her stamps, and she spent $8.40. How many stamps did she buy? She bought 20, so I'd have to divide this into 20 groups. Hey, that helped me realize I'm going to take $8.40 and I'm going to divide it by 20 to find the price for one stamp. So over here, there's not too much room for this here, so you might want to use a separate piece of paper. I'm going to do $8.40. Whew, ran out of room. $8.40 divided by 20. So when we divide a decimal, we're just going to bring that decimal straight up. How many times does 20 go into 8? It goes in 0 times. How many times does 20 go into 84? It goes in 4 times. 20 times 4 is 80. Minus equals 4. I bring down a 0. How many times does 20 go into 40? It goes in 2 times. 20 times 2 is 40. Minus is 0. So 840 divided by 20 into those 20 groups is $0.42. That means one of those groups is $0.42. So G. One stamp costs $0.42. Number 3, Manuel bought supplies for making party favors. The table shows the cost of each supply. If Manuel made 12 party favors, how much did it cost to make each party favor? Okay, so each supply costs this amount for all of the things he made. So first, what we need to do is we need to figure out how much he spent total on his supplies. So I heard the word total when I said that. I'm going to add up all of these costs. So right now, they're already lined up perfectly. When we add decimals, we do need to line up the decimal. They're kind of lined up right here, so I'm just going to use the table. 5 plus 9 plus 2. Well, 5 plus 9 is 14, plus 2 is 16. Got to regroup the 1. 1 plus 0 plus 7 plus 3 plus 8. Oh, that's a lot. 7 plus 3 make 10. 11, and then add 8, I get 19. 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4. 6 and 4 make 10. 15, 17, 18. There's nowhere to regroup, so I just put it down there, and I bring down the decimal. $18.96 is how much he spent on all of the supplies. So he made 12 party favors. How much did it cost to make each party favor? So I need to find how much it costs to make one. This is how much it costs to make 12. So I could say it costs $18.96 to make 12 favors. How much did it cost to make one favor? Hey, that's a unit rate. Unit rate has a denominator of 1. How do we make 12 become 12? We divide by 12. Okay, so I'm going to have to divide the total cost by 12. $18.96 divided by 12. How many times does 12 go into 1? 0. How many times does 12 go into 18? Once. 12 times 1 is 12. Minus equals 6. I bring down this 9. I'm going to bring this decimal straight up. How many times does 12 go into 69? Well, 12 times 5 is 60, which if we go to 6, it's going to go too far. 12 times 5 is 60, minus equals 9. I bring down the 6. How many times does 12 go into 96? I don't know that one. So I'm going to come down here. 5 was 60, so I'm going to try 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Hey, I found it. 8. So $1.58 for each party favor. $1.58. Those are pretty cheap favors. And they had candy and stickers and pencils. Nice. Okay, on to number 4. Shelly spent $10.56 on oranges that cost 88 cents per orange. How many oranges did she purchase? Ooh. So she spent $10.56 on some amount of oranges. I know that's going to be equal to 88 cents for 1 orange. I'm going to draw arrows towards what I don't know. How can I make 88 cents become $10.56? I don't know. I don't know what to multiply this by to make it become that. So I'm going to have to divide. I'm going to have to divide this $10.56 by the price per orange. I'm going to come over here, $10.56 divided by 0.88. Now, here we're dividing by a decimal. When our divisor is a decimal, we have a problem because we don't know how to divide by a decimal and we can't just move the decimal up. So we need to move the decimal over to make the divisor a whole number. I moved it over 2 times. That's going to make it 88. If I do that to the divisor, I also have to do it to the dividend. So my new division problem is 1,056, the decimal got moved all the way to the end, divided by 88. So when I solve this, it'll have the same value as this. How many times does 8 go into 1? 0. 8 goes into 10. 0 times 8 goes into 105 one time. Not 8, sorry, 88. 88 times 1 is 88. Minus, we're going to have to do some regrouping. This becomes 10 and then becomes 9. 15 minus 8. I'm going to make my pencil smaller for those so you can actually read them. This becomes 0. This becomes 10. But then I still need to take from it, so it becomes 9. And this becomes 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. 9 minus 8 is 1, 17. Let's bring down the 6. How many times does 88 go into 176? 88, I'm assuming, times 2. 16. 17. Yep. So to make 88 cents become $10.56, we need to multiply by 12 is what that number means. Okay, so down here, we're also going to multiply by 12. 1 orange times 12 is 12 oranges. She bought 12 oranges. Okay, the average weight of a bass in a neighborhood lake is 5.1 pounds. Norman and his friend caught 4 bass. Assuming the bass were all average weight, what was the total weight in pounds of the fish they caught? So one fish will weigh 5.1 pounds. The next fish will weigh 5.1 pounds, and so on. How many fish did they buy? Not buy, they caught them. They caught 4 bass. So we need to take 5.1. We could add them, plus 5.1 plus 5.1, but it's more efficient to multiply. 5.1 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. To place our decimal, we need to count how many digits are behind the decimal in the problem and put that many behind the decimal in the answer. There's only 1. So it's 20.4 pounds. To get that number, I also could have estimated. 5.1 is close to 5. 4, we don't need to estimate. It's already a nice number, is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Is 20.4 close to 20? Yes, it is, so I feel like my answer is right. Number 6, Bartholomew went hiking over the weekend. He hiked all 4 trails in 3 hours. Which is the best estimate for the number of miles he hiked per hour? So he did all of those hikes. So first we need to see how many miles he hiked. We're going to do the same thing and just use the table. It lined up our decimals for us. Let's add. 7 plus 8 plus 6 plus 5. Okay, I'm going to use some compatible numbers that might help me a little bit more. So if I do this 6 plus 7, if I take 3 from the 6 and give them to the 7, I make 10. That's 13. Plus 5 gives me 18. And then plus 8 is going to give me 26. Need to carry that 2, regroup that 2. 2 plus 1 plus 2 is 5. We're going to bring this decimal straight down. 5.6 miles. So he hiked 5.6 miles total. It took him 3 hours. So I'm going to make it like a rate. 5.6 miles in 3 hours. How are we going to find his miles per hour? Well, per is for 1 hour. 1 hour. And we are trying to find how many miles he hiked per hour. Draw arrows towards what we don't know. How do you make 3 become 1? We divide by 3. We do the same to the top. But it did tell us estimate. Okay, so 5.6 divided by 3 would give us the exact miles per hour he hiked. But let's estimate. 5.6, so we're doing 5.6 divided by 3. 5.6 is pretty close to 6. 6 divided by 3 gives us 2 miles per hour. A. Should have looked at these other answers. C and D, I can cross out immediately. There's no way he hiked 15 or 18 miles per hour if he hiked 5.6 miles in 3 hours. Let's look at number 7. The area of Trina's bedroom is 96.9 square feet. What is the length of her bedroom? Use area equals length times width. So the area, I'm going to use this formula. Area equals length times width. What does it mean when there's nothing between? Multiply. The area, it tells us, is 96.9. Okay? It tells us we're looking for the length. So we don't know the length. So I'm going to leave it L, but we do know the width is 9.5. So we have 96.9 equals the width, 9.5, times the length. Hey, this is an equation that I can solve. How do we isolate L? Well, it's being multiplied by 9.5, so I'm going to divide by 9.5 on both sides. Those are going to cross out. 9.5 over 9.5 is 1. We get L left over there. Now I need to do 96.9 divided by 9.5 because I definitely don't know that in my head. I'm going to shift all this over a little bit so I can do that long division. If you need scratch paper, you can get scratch paper. 96.9 divided by 9.5. Before we start, I see we have a decimal in the divisor, so I'm going to move the decimal once to the right. Do the same here. So now this is 95. This is 969. How many times does 95 go into 9? 0 times. How many times does 95 go into 96? Once. 1 times 95 is 95. Minus equals 1. Bring down the 9. How many times does 95 go into 19? It goes in 0 times. I have to put a 0 there. So if I look at my answers, I'm going to work smarter, not harder, and look at the multiple choice answers. I already have a 1 and a 0. It's not going to be H and it's not going to be I. So I'm going to add a decimal point to keep dividing and a 0. I'm going to bring that 0 down. How many times does 95 go into 190? Well, my options are 0 times or 2 times. So I'm assuming 2 times is going to be correct. 10, 18, 19. It was correct. Goes in twice. 190 minus equals 0. I need to bring this decimal straight up. 10.2 feet is the length of her bedroom. Number 8, last one on this page. Find the area in square meters of a rectangle with a length of 2.1 meters and a height of 0.8 meters. So area equals length times width. Okay, so I need to do, it tells us the length is 2.1 and it tells us the width is 0.8. We need to do 2.1 times 0.8. 2.1 times 0.8. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. We'll need Jerry. Oh, we didn't really need Jerry because 0 times 1 is 0 and 0 times 2 is 0. So this whole line is actually going to just be 0, so we don't even need Jerry. Sorry, Jerry. How do we place the decimal? Well, we're going to look how many digits are behind the decimal point. 1, 2. We need 1, 2 digits behind the decimal point, which makes our answer 1.68 meters squared. Square meters. Okay, that's the first page. Let's flip to the back. Number 9, a model plane is 100 times smaller than an actual plane. The length of the model is 4.8 inches. What is the actual length of the plane? Okay, so the model plane is 100 times smaller than the actual plane. So if we take the model plane and we multiply it by 100, we'll get the actual. The model is 4.8 inches. We got to multiply it by 100 to get the actual. Well, I could do 100 times 4.8 and I could do all that, but I'm going to work smarter, not harder. I know that multiplying by 100 is special because multiplying by powers of 10, which 100 is a power of 10, moves king decimal. Here's king decimal. It's going to move king decimal twice to the right. 1, 2. Now king decimal's right here. What goes in this empty space? We put a 0. It moves king decimal twice because 100 is equal to 10 times 10. Each of those 10s move king decimal once. So 4.8 times 100 is 480 feet. Oh. I just realized, though, that it tells us inches right here. The length of the model plane is 4.8 inches. Okay, so the actual plane is 480 inches, which that's not an option over here. Oh, okay, so I need to make that feet. How do I make inches into feet? Well, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So if I have 480 inches, I need to divide that by 12 to make it feet. 480 divided by 12. Good thing I looked at that a little closer. I almost had the wrong answer there. 12 goes into 4 0 times. It goes into 48 4 times. 12 times 4 is 48. Minus is 0. Bring down the 0. 12 goes into 0 0 times. 40 feet, or B. Oh, they always do that. They put that answer in there that's meant to trick you. But we caught it. 40 feet. Number 10, Rita bought 5.7 pounds of bananas and 2.8 pounds of apples. Write a multiplication expression and find the total cost of the fruit. Round to the nearest cent. Well, we're going to need to use this sign. It's 59 cents per pound for bananas and $1.99 per pound for the apples. So, she bought 5.7 pounds of apples. Of bananas. So 5.7, we need to multiply by 0.59. I'm going to put it in parentheses. That's our bananas. Maybe I should put it under the pictures of the bananas. Now right here, let's do the apples. She bought 2.8 pounds of apples, and they're $1.99 per pound, so I need to multiply by $1.99. Then it says what's the total cost of the fruit. We're going to add those. Okay, we got some math to do here. Let's do $1.99. Let's do the apples first. $1.99 times 2.8. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 9 is 72 again, plus that 7 is 79. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 7 is 15. Now we need Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18, plus that 1 is 19. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Let's add these. 2, 17, 15, 5. How many digits are after? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're not going to round to the nearest cent until we're done with the apples and the bananas and we've added them. So there's the apples. Let's do the bananas. The bananas are 59 cents for 5.7 pounds. So I'm going to do 59 cents on top because it has more digits, 5.7 on bottom. We do not need to line up our decimal when we multiply because we do that counting digits thing after. 7 times 9 is 63. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 6 is 41. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. We'll need Jerry again. 5 times 9 is 45. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 4 is 29. I could regroup the 2 over here, but 5 times 0 is just going to be 0, plus 2 is going to be 2. So instead of regrouping the 2, I'll just bring it down here. We'll add 3, 6, 13, 3. Now there are 3 digits after the decimal, 3 digits after the decimal, 3.363. We need to add these numbers. 3.363 plus 5.572. We do need to line up the decimals now. 5, 13, 9, bring that decimal straight down, 8. 8.935. It did ask us to round to the nearest cent. The cent is a penny. A penny is the hundredths place because there's 100 pennies in $1. So we need to round to the hundredths place. The 3 is going to look at the 5. The 5 tells the 3 to go up to 4. So this rounds to $8.94. Whew, that was a lot. Okay, Malabar Middle School is raising money for a local charity. Their goal is to raise $500 by their holiday break. If they have 10 days before their break, what is a reasonable amount they should collect each day to reach their goal? So they only have 10 days. So here's how much they have left to raise $500. They only have 10 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. How many do they need to raise each day? Well, I just took 500 and I divided by 10. Oh, this is a king decimal. I don't need long division. Where is the decimal point in 500? It's right at the end here. Dividing by 10 is going to move to king decimal back 1 to right here. So they need to raise $50 a day to reach their goal before their break. Number 12, Ignacio cut the board shown into 4.5-inch pieces. How many pieces can he cut? Well, he's going to cut one piece. This piece is going to be 4.5 inches. He's going to cut another. That's going to be 4.5. How many pieces can he cut? Well, it seems like we're taking 40.5 and dividing by 4.5. All our answers seem pretty reasonable, so I'm going to have to do this division out. Before we start, I see that there's a decimal in the divisor. We need to get rid of that. We're going to move the decimal once to the right. We need to do the same thing to the dividend. 45 is now our divisor, and our dividend is now 405. How many times does 45 go into 4? 0. How many times does it go into 40? 0. How many times does it go into 405? Well, I know it's going to be one of these. 45 times 10 is 450, which isn't that far off. So I'm thinking times 9. 5 times 9 is 45. Regrouped the 4. 9 times 4 is 36, plus that 4 is 40. 405. Got it. 9 times 45 is 405, minus is 0. He can cut 9 pieces. 2 more problems. The table shows times for the men's 4x100 meter medley. The 4 swimmers each swam 100 meters. Okay, so that's their time. United States had the lowest time. Nice. Suppose each swimmer swam the same amount of time. How long did each United States swimmer swim in the race? Okay, so 4x100, you kind of have to know a little bit about swimming to answer this question. Oh, I guess it says right here, the 4 swimmers each swam 100 meters. Okay, so there were 4 swimmers. This is how long it took them total. How much did each of them take? How much time did each of them take? So we could make a bar diagram again. Their total time was 3 minutes, 29.34 seconds. And there's 4 swimmers, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to divide that by 4. Now, here's interesting. Right here, it says minutes, seconds. We're going to need to convert this all to seconds. Okay, all our answers are in seconds. We can't have a combination of minutes and seconds in something that we're trying to divide. So we need to make it all into seconds. So 3 minutes equals how many seconds? Well, 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So I need to multiply by 60, which is 3 times 6 is 18. Add the 0, 180 seconds. So 3 minutes is 180 seconds. And then I need to add the 29.34 seconds. I'm going to need to add a decimal and some ghost zeros here so I can add these. Bring the decimal down. 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 plus 9 is 9. 8 plus 2 is 10. Regroup the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 209.34. Okay, that's how many seconds they all did. Now I need to divide it by 4. I'm going to do that over here, 209.34 divided by 4. We just have a decimal in the dividend, so we don't need to be moving decimals anywhere. 4 goes into 2 0 times. It goes into 25 times. 4 times 5 is 20, minus is 0. Bring down the 9. How many times does 4 go into 9? It goes in twice. 4 times 2 is 8, minus equals 1. Bring down this 3, and I'm going to bring up this decimal. 4 goes into 13 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12, minus equals 1. Bring down this 4. 4 goes into 14 3 times. I was just looking at the answers because I'm going to work smarter, not harder. I haven't finished this yet, but I can already eliminate some. It wasn't 67 when I did the division, so no, no. Okay, now here, it wasn't just 52, so I know it's going to be H. But we can finish out this multiplication if we want. 4 times 3 is 12, minus equals 2. Add a 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 25 times. So I got the same answer they did. H, 52.335 seconds. Last one. Wesley lives in an apartment and would like to have his own vegetable garden. His city offers garden plots, but he has to pay for the fencing. Use area equals length times width. So there's 3 different plots. We know the area of some, the length of some, and so on. Find the missing measurement for each plot. Okay, so each plot is missing 2 measurements. So this is going to take some work. Okay, let's do it. So plot A, we're missing the length and the perimeter. Okay, it's interesting. They told you to use area equals length times width, but then they gave you height and not width. So we're going to pretend all of these are width. Okay, so for plot A, we know the area is 204. Area equals length times width. And then we don't know the length, so I'm going to leave it length. Okay, and we do know the width is 10.2. So to find the length, we need to divide by 10.2 on both sides. So I need to do 204 divided by 10.2. 204 divided by 10.2. Move my decimal. 204 has an invisible decimal. Move it, put a 0 in its left pocket, the pocket it left. 2040 divided by 102. 102 goes into 2, 0 times goes into 20, 0 times goes into 204, 2 times. 204 minus equals 0. Bring down that 0. We're not done until we have a digit above every digit. How many times does 102 go into 0? 0 times. 20. So the length of the plot is 20 feet. So its perimeter is all the sides added up. Length plus width plus width. So we need to do 20 plus 20 plus 10.2 plus 10.2. When we do that, we need to line up our decimal. We can also kind of do it mentally. 20 plus 20 is 40, plus 10 is 50, plus 10 is 60. 0.2 plus 0.2 is going to be 0.4, so 60.4 for plot A. Okay, how about plot B? I'm going to change to a different color. This time we don't know the area. We know the length, we don't know the width, and we know the perimeter. This one got a little bit trickier. So we're going to need to use the perimeter to first find the height, because we can't, or the width. We can't find the area without the width. So the perimeter is 57.56. We know the perimeter is all the sides added together. 57.56 equals 12.78 plus 12.78 plus, and we don't know the two widths, width plus width. Okay, so we need to do 12.78 plus 12.78. 8 plus 8 is 16, 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Bring down this decimal. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 1 plus 1 is 2. 25.56 equals 57.56. And we have plus W is plus 2W. Now we need to get rid of this 25.56. So we're going to subtract 25.56 from both sides. We get 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. Bring down the decimal. 7 minus 5 is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. 32 equals 2W. 32.00. I'm just going to get rid of those 0.00. Now to get W alone, we divide by 2. 16 equals W. So the width is 16. Now we can find the area. Area is length times width. Ooh, we're running out of space. This is a long problem. 12.78 times 16. I am definitely not going to have enough room there. I'm going to come up here. 12.78 times 16. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 4 is 46. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Add Jerry. 1 plus 8 is 1. Sorry, 1 times 8 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Let's add these. 8 plus Jerry is 8. 6 plus 8 is 14. 1 plus 6 plus 7 is 14. 1 plus 7 plus 2 is 10. Regroup that 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. There are 2 digits after the decimal, 2 digits after the decimal. 204.48 feet squared. So very close to plot A. Plot B is, or C is very close too. Okay, last one, plot C. Don't have a ton of room here. I might go on to my next page. You might need some scratch paper. We need to find the length and the perimeter. So this is just like A. We were missing the length and the perimeter. So we're going to do area equals length times width. We know the area is 204.49. We know the length. Oh, we don't know the length. So we'll leave that L. And we know the width is 14.3. Good thing we learned equations. We need to get L alone. We're going to divide by 14.3. 204.49 divided by 14.3. On this side, that's going to get rid of my 14.3. We're left with L equals, we got to do that division. We have a decimal in the divisor. Alert, move it. Do the same to the dividend. We have 143 is now the divisor. 2044.9 is now our dividend. 143 goes into 2, 0 times 20, 0 times 204. It's going to go in once. Let's subtract. 4 minus 3 is 1. 0 minus 4, I can't do that. Regroup. 10 minus 4 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm not even going to write 0 there. Bring down a 4. 143 into 614. I'm going to say 143 is kind of close to 150. 150 would go into 604 times, so I'm going to say 4 times. 12, 16, 17, 5. 572, yep. I'm not going to be able to go in one more time. 572, let's subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 minus 7 I can't do, regroup. 11 minus 7 is 4. 5 minus 5 is 0, I'm not going to write it. Bring this decimal straight up and bring this 9 straight down. 143 into 429. Well, times 4 was way too big, so I'm going to try times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. Regroup that 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus that 1 is 4. Yes, 429. So 14.3 is our length. Feet. What's the perimeter? Hey, this is a square. The length and the height are the same, the length and the width. So to find the perimeter, ooh, this makes the perimeter a little easy. Normally I would add, like we did right here, length plus width plus width. But aren't all of them the same? So it would be 14.3 added to itself 4 times, or I can just do 14.3 times 4. That'll make my life quicker, this problem quicker. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. There's 1 digit after the decimal, 1 digit after the decimal. 57.2 is our perimeter. Time for part B and part C. I think they're going to be quick, though. Which plot requires the least amount of fencing? That's going to be our perimeter, because the fencing goes around the outer edge of the plot. Which perimeter is the lowest? Well, this one's 60, so it's not that one. We have 57 and 57. Okay, 0.5, compare the 5 to the 2. 2 is less than 5, so plot C takes the least amount of fencing. Which plot has the greatest area? We're comparing area right up here. Okay, it's not this one because that's just 204. We're going to compare these two. 4 tenths compared to 4 tenths doesn't help us. 8 hundredths compared to 9 hundredths. 9 hundredths is greater. So again, plot C has the greatest area. So it has the least amount of fencing, but the greatest area. Maybe because it's a square. Okay, and that is my video key on Chapter 3, Standardized Test Practice. Thanks for watching.